St. Stephen is a wonderful cathedral in the heart of Vienna. It's the real religious and spiritual center of Vienna. We have every day 7 holy masses from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the evening. So it is a wonderful possibility for thousands of people every day to come inside in this wonderful cathedral to enlarge your sight of life.
There's been a cathedral on this spot for 850 years. The foundation stone was laid in 1147. A Romanesque cathedral was built here. That's a long time ago, time of the Crusades. Any of you who've been to New York and visited the cloisters will have seen some of these fascinating cloisters and doorways and pillars from all over Europe that date from the same time that this cathedral was first started. Only parts of it survive. The main door is still there and the towers either side. But in 1359, Rudolf IV started to build this great Gothic cathedral. And it's a bit of a miracle, really, that it's still here, because Vienna's been bombarded on many occasions through the years. In 1683, the Turks surrounded Vienna, and there are many, many fascinating stories of how Vienna survived that time. The good thing about the Turks was that they left coffee. Vienna's famous for its coffee houses. In 1805 and 1809, Napoleon bombarded Vienna, and the cathedral was damaged again. But it was in 1945 when the Germans were retreating and they set fire to the cathedral, and it was almost completely destroyed. The great bell, the Pummerum bell, which is so well known, which only rings at New Year and special feast days. In 1945, this great bell fell through the roof and destroyed all sorts of beautiful statues, and the ruins were almost complete. But the people of Vienna were so devastated by the almost destruction of their beloved cathedral, they rushed on the streets and picked up pieces of glass and statues and anything that they could find. And by 1952, the cathedral had been restored as it is today, really a monument to survival.
Music is a universal language. Every day we have in the Holy Mass wonderful music of Mozart or von Haydn, from wonderful composers which have given us wonderful works of music.
Music has always been a very, very great part of life in the cathedral. Vienna has always been a magnet for musicians, and many great musicians have come here and lived here and worked here. Vivaldi, Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Mahler, they all came from other places to live and work here.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart has very familiar connection with St. Stephen's because he wanted to be the music director here in St. Stephen, was the choir of the cathedral, and he married here. He brought his children to the baptism in the church, and his funeral mass, his own funeral mass, was celebrated in St. Stephen.
In 1791, the Kapellmeister was quite elderly and very ill, and Mozart was made vice Kapellmeister with the promise that when this man died, Mozart would become Kapellmeister. But by a cruel stroke of fate, Mozart died first, and so he never ever became the Kapellmeister of this great cathedral. Another of the great musicians that's associated with the cathedral is Joseph Haydn. He was a choir boy here too, and he and Mozart were very, very great friends. And when Mozart came to live in Vienna in 1781, Haydn did a lot to encourage him and introduce him to people. And they used to play only a few yards just across the road from the cathedral, in the house where Mozart lived when he was at the height of his powers. This house is in the Domgasse. It's known as the Figaro House. And he wrote The Marriage of Figaro there. He also wrote many of his great piano concertos and also the 6 quartets that he dedicated to Haydn. And Haydn used to come and play quartets with Mozart on many occasions.
Every child in Vienna is coming to the cathedral with a guided tour, and so in the first years of my primary school I came and I was deep impressed because it is the largest church I have ever seen. Our cardinal, our Archbishop Christoph Schönborn, had said, other cathedrals are admired, but the Viennese people love the cathedral. Saint Stephen the Protomartyr is the patron of our cathedral. He was very common in the Middle Age. He was ready to give his life for the belief to Jesus, and he prayed in the last moments of his life for the people they have persecuted him. And so it is a good symbol for us.
I'm told that when Sarah Brightman was asked to do this wonderful concert, she said that of all the places in the world she'd like to do it, Vienna was the place she'd like to come to. And so she's part of a long line and a tradition of musicians who feel this need to come and be in Vienna and to be part of the musical tradition here.